Welcome class 12th. Here I'm going to begin chapter 4 on the face of it from your supplementary reader, Vista's English book. This is a play written by Susan Hill. Let's start the play. Before starting the explanation, I would like to hear comment about the title of the play, On the Face of It. It is an informal expression. That means that sometimes people and the things may be quite different from what they appear to be at first. The title is based on this thought. Mr. Lamb, the main character of the play, appears to be quite mysterious, lonely, lame, an old man who lives all alone. But when the story proceeds forward, we come across him to be a gentle, kind, generous, and considerate man who helped Terry, that is 14 years age, boy, and another character of the play. He is defiant and withdrawn from the society due to his ugly face. But Mr. Lamb made this boy understand the true meaning of life, and also he guides the boy how to live the life to the fullest. Appearances are always deceptive. We don't have to frame the opinion and prejudice about others by just looking at their impressions and the appearances. You have to frame the opinion about others by knowing them thoroughly. Just read the play and know the fact. Susan Elizabeth Hill is a critically acclaimed English novelist and short story writer whose production had reached its peak in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Her simply drawn novels examines the lives of small but many times eccentric people who look for life and warmth in their often icy and sterile lives. Born in the year 1942 to R.H. and Doris Hill in Scarborough, that is a working class town in the east coast of England. There she attended grammar school and then graduated with honours in English from King's College, University of London in the year 1963. After following her graduation, Hill started reviewing the books for the Coventry Evening Telegraph until the year 1969. Then she became a full-time writer, reviewer and broadcaster. Between 1961 and 1975, she had published 8 novels, 3 books of short stories and 1 collection of radio books. Her work was recognized by her receiving the Somerset Maugham Award in the year 1971, and then she was also conferred with Whitbread Literary Award in 1972 and the Rice Memorial Prize in 1970. Let's get the introduction about the play. This is a story about the meeting of a teenage boy, Terry, who has a burnt face, with Mr. Lamb, who is a disabled old man with an artificial leg made up of tin. So here it is told in the play, Terry accidentally entered into the garden of Mr. Lamb. But he was surprised to know Mr. Lamb not only welcomed the boy in his garden but also encouraged him to lead the normal life and leaving behind all his past and sufferings. Dear children, in this play you are going to meet 2 main characters. First is Terry, who is a 14-year-old boy. He is disfigured and ugly because half of his face was burnt due to the spilling of the acid. He is conscious of the fact, due to his ugliness, the people wants to ignore him or pity on him. That's why he suffers from the inferiority complex. He avoids all the social interaction. He suspects everyone and lacks trust. It is only when Mr. Lamb bestowed on him love, trust, and generosity that his mindset started changing. That's why, due to the wise words of Mr. Lamb, Terry got transformed completely. Next character, Mr. Lamb, is an old man who lives alone in a big house with a big lawn. He is handicapped, having lost his leg in a bomb explosion during the war, but he is very optimistic. His openness is reflected through the open doors and windows of his house. He is never upset at being called Lammy Lamb by the children. Third character sketch is of Derry's mother, who is well concerned, like all the mothers, and wanted that Derry should keep distance with the strangers. Start the play on the face of it. This is a play featuring an old man and a small boy meeting in the farmer's garden. The old man strikes up a friendship with the boy, who is very withdrawn and defiant. What is the bond that unites the two? Strikes up means begins, withdrawn. That means not walking to talk to other people. Defiant, that means openly refuse to obey. As I've informed you, this is a play featuring an old man and a small boy's meeting in the farmer's garden. Both are suffering from physical impairment, but Mr. Lamb, the old man, takes life as it comes to him. Let's start the play. Scene 1. Mr. Lamb's garden. There is the occasional sound of bird song and of trees' leaves rustling. Daddy's footsteps are heard as he walks slowly and tentatively through the long grass. He pauses and then walks on again. He comes around a screen of bushes so that Mr. Lamb speaks to him. He is close at hand and Daddy is startled. Occasional, that means sometimes. Rustling, that is a low sound. Tentatively, that means hesitatingly. Startled, that means sudden shock. The play opens up with the setting of scene 1. The location is told is of Mr. Lamb's garden. So here it is told one can hear the sounds of the birds singing and also the rustling sound of the leaves. There is sudden entry of a young boy, Daddy, into the garden, who was making his movement quite hesitatingly into the garden of Mr. Lamb. When he came just near the bushes, he is surprised to hear the word from Mr. Lamb. So Daddy is startled, that means surprised. Who is addressing Mr. Lamb? Mind the apples. What? Who is that? Who is there? Mr. Lamb. Lamb is my name. Mind the apples. Crab apples. Those are. Wind falls in the long grass. You could trip. Daddy, I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there was anybody here. Crab apples, that means small, sour apples. Trip, that means fall down. Here we find that Mr. Lamb is addressing to a boy named Daddy, who is making entry quietly into his garden. He wants the boy to be careful about the apples of his garden. The boy, Daddy, was surprised to find someone addressing him, as he was expecting no one in the garden. Then Mr. Lamb introduced himself by saying that his name was Mr. Lamb, and then he warned the boy to be careful about the crab apples which were fallen on the grass by the blowing of the wind. And he said the boy could fall over them and get hurt. At this, Daddy got scared. He explained to Mr. Lamb that he was thinking that the place was empty and there was no one inside the garden. That's why he had come inside the garden. Mr. Lamb, that's all right. I'm here. What are you afraid of, boy? That's all right. Daddy, I thought it was empty. An empty house. Mr. Lamb, so it is. Since I'm out here in the garden, it is empty until I go back inside. In the meantime, I'm out here and likely to stop. A day like this, beautiful day, not a day to be indoors. Mr. Lamb noticed that the boy had got shocked and scared on hearing his command. Seeing the boy got frightened, Mr. Lamb tried to comfort him by saying there was no need to get afraid of. It was all right if he had come in. Daddy then clarified he was thinking that it was an empty house and no one there. That's why he had gotten. Once again, Mr. Lamb tries to put the fear of the boy at rest and says that the house was no doubt empty as he was in the garden now. Again, Mr. Lamb tries to put the boy's fears at rest. He consoled him with words that the house was no doubt empty and it would remain empty till he would get back inside. But he said the day was very pleasant. It was not the time to stay inside. So it is the time to enjoy this beautiful day outside in the garden. Explains that it is such a pleasant day and it is not worth spending indoors while sitting inside the house. That's why he is here in the garden. Daddy, panic. I've got to go. Mr. Lamb, not on my account. I don't mind who comes into the garden. The gate's always open. Only you climb the garden wall. Panic means to have sudden fears. But Daddy got afraid. He asked for the permission from Mr. Lamb to leave the garden. To this, Mr. Lamb said there was no need to get afraid and leave the garden only because of him. He said that the gate of his garden are always open for everyone and it was only Daddy who had made entry from the wall of the garden. Otherwise, everyone is welcome in his garden and the house. Daddy, angry. You were watching me. Mr. Lamb, I saw you, but the gate's open. All welcome. You are welcome. I sit here. I like sitting. Daddy got angry to know that he was being noticed by Mr. Lamb while he was making entry through the garden wall. He asked why he had not raised objection and pointed out then. To this, Mr. Lamb replied that it was all right as everyone could come in his garden. He never make objection. He said, just like me, everybody can come and sit here like him in the garden. Daddy, I'd not come to steal anything. Mr. Lamb, no, the young lad steal. Scrum the apples, you're not so young. Lads, that means boys. Scrum, that means steal. Now, Daddy clarified that he had not come to steal anything from his garden. Mr. Lamb agreed and said that many times small boys used to come to steal the apples from his garden. But he knew Daddy was not so small. Daddy, I just wanted to come into the garden. Mr. Lamb, so you did. Here we are then. Mr. Lamb also approved that he knew that he had not come for stealing. Daddy, you don't know who I am. Mr. Lamb, a boy, 13 or so. Daddy, 14. But I've got to go now. Goodbye. Daddy again explained that he wanted to come inside the garden, not for stealing. Then again Mr. Lamb replied that he had of course come and he can stay here. Here Daddy asked why Mr. Lamb was not angry about his coming into the garden. He said they knew nothing about each other. Mr. Lamb, a boy 13 or so. Daddy, 14. Pause, but I've got to go now. Goodbye. To this, Mr. Lamb, nothing to be afraid of. Just a garden, just me. Daddy, but I'm not. I'm not afraid. People are afraid of me. Once again, Mr. Lamb tries to comfort the boy by saying there was no need to be afraid of here in the garden, as it is just a garden and only one person, that is Mr. Lamb, was there. To this, Teddy explained that he was not afraid of anyone. He said, on the contrary, the people are afraid of him. Mr. Lamb, why should that be? Daddy, everyone is. It doesn't matter who they are, or what they say, or how they look, how they pretend. I know, I can see. Mr. Lamb, see what? Daddy, what they think? Mr. Lamb, what do they think? Then, Mr. Lamb was surprised to know that the people were afraid of a boy. He inquired who they were. To this, Daddy explained that everyone was afraid of him and he never mind. And it didn't made any difference who they were or what did they say and how did they look now, as they made sure after looking at him that they are not afraid of me. But I could clearly see that after looking at my face they all got scared. Mr. Lamb, what and why they got afraid? After looking at his face, the people might think and comment that it was bad, the terrible one, and the ugliest face ever they had seen in their life. They used to also remark about him that Daddy was a helpless boy. But he replied he was not helpless, as he said the people who made such remark underneath, in fact, they are afraid of me. That's why they take pity on me and made such remark. He said that surely they had to be afraid of my face. It is really very terrible one. He said whenever he looked himself in the mirror, he also got afraid of his own reflection. He couldn't bear to look at his own face in the mirror. Mr. Lamb, no, not the whole of you, not of you. Then yes, here Mr. Lamb consoled the boy with the words that his whole face was not frightful. It is not terrible, his whole self. Then he said no, it was. His whole body looked very terrible and frightful. Mr. Lamb, pause. Later on, when it's a bit cooler, I will get the ladder and a stick and pull down those crab apples. They are ripe for it. I make jelly. It is a good time of year, September. Look at them, orange and golden. That's a magic fruit, I often say, but it is best picked and made into jelly. You could give me a hand. Crab apple, already told you the meaning. These are the small sour apples. Give me a hand. That means to help somebody. After stopping for a while, Mr. Lamb informed when the effect of cold season reduced, then he used to take out his leaden stick and pluck fine and ripe crab apples, as he used to make the jelly out of them. He also informed the boy that September is the right month when this magic fruit gets ripened, and he used to pick them then. Then, praising this magic fruit, he showed the boy to see the orange and golden beautiful colors of these apples. He said that the best one he used to pick and use in his work of making jelly. However, here he invited Daddy to join in his work. Daddy, what have you changed the subject for? People always do that. Why don't you ask me? Why do you do? And what they all do and pretend it is not true and isn't there? In case I see you looking and mind and get upset, I will tell you don't ask me because you are afraid too. However, Daddy noticed that Mr. Lamb had suddenly changed the topic. He asked him why all of a sudden he had made this change and was not asking about his face. He pointed out why he was behaving like the other people and then making the show that he was not afraid of, and but inside he was also frightened of his face. He said that he really knows that after looking at his face he had got upset. That's why he was not asking, because inside Mr. Lamb was also afraid to see his ugly and terrible face. Mr. Lamb, you want me to ask? Say so then. Daddy, I don't like being with people, any people. Mr. Lamb, I should say to look at it. I should say you got burned in a fire. Daddy, not in a fire. I got acid all down that side of my face and it burned it all away. It ate my face up. It ate me up. And now it's like this. It won't ever be any different. On seeing, Daddy had got angry for not asking about the face. Lamb inquired that if he wanted to tell about his face, then he could tell. Daddy said, "Here, Dad," knowing that the boy had got upset for not being asked about his face. Mr. Lamb inquired, "What happened?" To this, Daddy replied that otherwise he did not like to be with the people, any sort of the people. Then Mr. Lamb started assuming about his face. By looking at his face, he said that the boy had got some fire accident. Perhaps his face got burned in the fire. To this, Daddy replied it was not fire but acid that had completely burnt half of his face. He became so sad thinking about the accident, so kept on repeating that how acid burnt all his face away. It ate it up, and it had eaten and completely finished his life. He said that his face was not going to get recovered any time in his whole life now. That means he had to live with the same burnt face throughout his life. Mr. Lamb, no, Daddy, are not you interested? Mr. Lamb, you are a boy who came into the garden. Plenty do. I am interested in anybody, anything. There is nothing God made that doesn't interest me. Look over there, over beside the far wall. What can you see? Daddy, rubbish. Rubbish? That means waste material. To know the sufferings of the boy, Mr. Lamb was completely moved away. He wanted that the boy should not think that the acid had completely finished him up. But Daddy took it otherwise. He thought that the man was not interested in his stories. At this, Mr. Lamb replied that he was interested in each and every creation of the God. Then he pointed towards the wall in his garden and asked the boy, what did he see beyond that? He replied that there was nothing, just rubbish, waste lying over there. Mr. Lamb, rubbish? Look, boy, look. What do you see? Daddy, just grass and stuff, weeds. Once again, Mr. Lamb insisted the boy to look over to that side. And again, Daddy replied that there was lying some grass and stuff, some weeds over there. Otherwise, weeds are the unwanted plants. So the boy found that in the corner near the wall there were grown the weeds, the unwanted plants. Mr. Lamb, some call them weeds. If you like, then a weed garden. That there is a fruit and there are flowers and trees and herbs, all sorts. But over there, weeds I grow. Weeds there. Why is one green growing plant called a weed and another flower? Where is the difference? It's all life growing same as you and me. Moreover, Mr. Lamb explained that of course some people called these plants to be the weeds, the unwanted plants. But he said if the boy would like, he could observe his garden because he had grown all the sorts of the plants in his garden. There were fruits, flowers, trees, and herbs. The all sorts of plantation could be found in his garden. But along with, he had also grown the weeds. He asked the boy why one green growing plant is called a weed and the another one is called and praised to be flower. What is the difference? He said there is no difference between the plants. He thought it was all about the people who made the difference to call one plant to be herb and another to be the weed. In reality, everything is same. Everything in the nature had life. Otherwise, Mr. Lamb said that he couldn't find difference between the things grown in nature, whether it is herb, weed or a flower. Everything is same, grown by the nature, just like they were all same. Like Daddy and Mr. Lamb himself. He said there is no difference even between the human beings. Everything has life. Everything has feelings. I hope you well understood up to this part. Must watch the next part in the coming video. Thank you for watching the video.